go now.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Turnbuckle Talk with me, Steven Spice. On today's show, I have a special guest that has been known for get in my face at wrestling shows, but who has learned from that. I will not back down from any challenge. Please welcome to the show the one-time BSE Suicide Six-Pack champion, the two-time CCW Heavyweight champion, the one-time Combat Zone in Iron Man champion, the one-time IWS World Champion, World Heavyweight Champion, the two-time IWS World Tag Team Champion, the three-time NCW Inner Cities Heavyweight Champion, the four-time and current NCW Quebec Heavyweight Champion. He is the current reigning and defending Greektown Wrestling Champion. He is Frankie the Monster! But
you messed up my name!
But to me,
God! Monster! God!
Monster.
Anyway, who cares? I'm used to people butchering my name.
As Frankie the Beast King, aka Mark Andre Boyle J.
You got it right. You got it right. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. It's not. It's a very difficult word, it seems, for English people to get. Boulanger, which means baker, by the way. It's the French word for baker. So my name is Marc-Andrew Baker. But you did not butcher it, so I am quite proud of you. Oh, by the way, you said that I had learned that you went back down. I didn't learn shit. You didn't teach me nothing. So next time I see you, I'll just slap you even further. You know, I'll slap you from one end of the venue to the other, and I'll throw you around, and there's not a thing you'll be able to do or say about it. Is that clear? Did you learn from this? What?
Way around.
No, it's not going to be the other way around. You can't even reach my face because you're too short. You're short. You're short. You're short. You're short. You're short.
One, I'm fast though, and you're not. You're that ankle.
I am extremely fast for a man my size. I am like a panther. I'm a panther. You'll learn that. I'm a panther. I'm a panther. Panther.
Stand like a puma. Stand like a puma.
You're like a squirrel. You're like a nut-eating squirrel.
I have a tree, and yeah, I know because I'm cute. Unlike you.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. So how you doing?
Good. And have you watched Hannah Montana?
Say again?
Have you ever watched Hannah Montana?
Hannah Montana. I actually am repulsed by the simple idea of having to watch that, and I truly, utterly despise everybody that does. I think it should be sent to jail. I think it's a crime against humanity. First off, it's a crime against humanity to having produced that show, and it's an even worse crime against humanity to watch it. So I know you're asking me this because you like that show. I am appalled by such a behavior from a young man like you who thinks of himself as a responsible, growing infant, soon to be teenager, but watches kiddie stuff that makes me want to vomit.
That's because you don't have better taste. Hi,
I have excellent taste in TV shows.
No, you don't.
Excellent taste.
Hi, Frankie, aka
Hi.
Mark, aka Mark. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm actually really good. I was good until you mentioned Hannah Montana. Now I am furious. But besides that, I think we can push that aside and carry on with this conversation. And I'm going to try to teach you how to be a man. How's that?
Sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you need to learn.
How are you going to teach me if you're not one?
Well, I am quite the man. I am extremely manly. Look at me.
I do have a question, though, before we start. What's
that?
with all these girls and holding their tailbones? First it was my mom, then it was my teacher, now it's you?
To do what? To show, what's that?
What is it with all these girls hurting their tailbones? First it was my mom, and then it was my science teacher, and now it's you.
Girl, is that what you say? You calling me a girl?
Yeah.
You should know that people that call me girl, it only happens 3 times, and it was for strictly professional purposes. I have not been down that road since then, and I made a lot of money out of it. 4 times. Yeah, absolutely. Because you actually seem closer to your feminine touch and your feminine side. So I thought I would go down the girly way to try to reason with you and make you like a better human being. And obviously I failed at that tremendously because you are not a good person.
I am. You're lying. Pish posh.
I don't lie. I don't lie.
Oh, sure you don't. Like you said, you're a man. You said you were a man.
I am quite the man. And because you are a child, I cannot physically prove it, and I won't.
Before we begin, let's get the specifics out of the way. Would you prefer to be called Mark, or should I address you as Frankie? Which is it? What so many people know you as?
Oh, well, you know what? I've been using the Frankie name for so long. To be in the wrestling and in the wrestling aspect of my life, most people will refer to me as Frankie. My true friends, they'll call me Mark because I much prefer to be called Mark. I like that Frankie character. Once I'm done with the show, he's in this bag and he's out, and I just become regular Mark, the one with whom people are friends, the one people like, and the one that likes people. So my friends call me Mark, so you can call me Frankie. You know what? Call me Mark. Call me Mark. Mark's better. Yeah.
Now let's get to the wrestling questions. Wrestling! Are we ready?
Go ahead.
Wrestling!
La lutte. Can you say that?
La lutte.
Lutte. Lutte.
Lutte. Lutte.
That's it. That's it. That's French for wrestling. La lutte. Let's do the next question in French. I'll answer you in French. See? You need to practice. Okay? Ask it in English, but I'll answer you in French.
How did you get your start in wrestling?
J'avais 2 amis à moi avec qui je suis allé au secondaire. Listen and practice.
I'm just gonna put a translator on it. I'm just gonna put a translator on it.
And I'm gonna say it in English. I had 2 friends that we used to do some like basement wrestling, and we're gonna say backyard. We used to mess around and pretend to be WWE guys in his basement on big crash mats. They took some wrestling classes with a dude whose name totally evades me. And from then on, they went to a very small promotion in a boony town outside of Quebec. And they just told me that they did that, and I followed along. I'm like, there's no way you guys are getting into wrestling, and I'm not going to be a part of it. So I went on with no formal training. I started off as a manager. And then I met Mark the Grizzly, who's trained pretty much all the wrestlers in Quebec in the past 25 years. And I started training with him. And from then on, I started wrestling for NCW promotions. And let it be known, and I let it be said that I wanted to wrestle as much as possible. So I went through a bunch of promotions and made my name. I threw my name around for close to no money, and I had the time of my life. And here I am, some 25 years later, no hair, dyeing my beard, answering question to a weasel little psychopath.
Looks like you forgot to dye it.
Say again?
Looks like you forgot to dye it. Still see some gray hairs.
I dye my beard because I have gray in it, and I cannot assume the fact that I'm an old man. If it was fully gray like Santa Claus, what?
I mean, I get why you have gray hairs. You have a kid.
Because I'm old.
You have a kid.
I have a kid.
And me.
Yeah, no. All my gray hair comes from you and the stress you provide in my life.
And your kid.
Yeah, that's not, you know what? My kid does not bring me an ounce of stress, and neither do you. No, I'm perfectly able to stress myself out with my own problems.
My mom's wondering, can we do a trade? No.
Say again?
No stress. You do a
Oh,
training.
I have a lot of. Your mom is a saint to be able to handle you every day without pulling your hair out of her head. Before I met you, I had a head full of hair. I had a big fro, and since I met you, I ripped them all out because you drive me mad.
Yes,
Not
sir.
true.
Don't you love
Not
me?
true. Not true. I dyed the beard because I am an unassuming older man who doesn't want to look old.
Right now, you are the current GREEKTOWN wrestling champion.
Yep.
Who would you like your next opponent to be? Remember, if you are cheating, I'll be there to whoop your butt.
I do not know when the next show is going to take place. But rest assured that if you're ringside, I will grab you by your little neck and I will myself put boot to ass and watch Steven fly off. Do not interfere in my business again.
On a trip on our favorite rocket ship, going through the sky, little Einstein.
No, we're gonna have fun again at the next show, and from judging from the reaction we got from all the videos of the two of us, I think there's chemistry here that needs to be exploited to the fullest degree. We entertain people. People got a reaction to what we did, and we're going to keep on doing that, and I will keep smacking your head.
You didn't smack my head last time.
Because you ran away like a wuss.
I'm pretty sure I didn't run away. I just ran into the ring because you were scared of Sunny Kiss.
No, you went into the ring because you knew I was going to twist your neck off of your body.
Nice try. Watch
will.
your house.
I will. I will pull your head off of your body, and I will make you sit on it.
My foot. Next time, my foot is going straight up the rear end.
Oh yeah, you were gonna say ass. You were so gonna say ass. That is so not a language. You should be.
Who was the toughest person to wrestle?
Oh, well, do you want this from a? Let's be honest. Do you want it from a character standpoint, or do you want it from a Mark standpoint? Mark's talking.
Do both.
There's so many people. Channing's an extremely hard guy in the ring. He's so athletic, so devoted. There's a lot of people in Quebec, but I don't think Speedball Bailey, I would say, is my most competitive opponent. He's the one that really brings the best. He's the one that brings the best out of me. He's the most formidable opponent I've ever had through my career, to be honest.
He's a great wrestler.
He's a phenomenal talent, and he's an even more phenomenal human being. He's just a great. Well,
I'm the phenomenal 1.5. Just think.
Maybe.
I'm just kidding. Speedball's a great.
And there's a few other guys I was in the ring with who were so dramatically untalented, and I would say they were the toughest opponents because it was hard to have a match that was entertaining for the crowd. And I do not wrestle for myself. I don't need to prove anything to myself. A lot of guys went wrestling for themselves, for what they can provide themselves and to better themselves. I am in wrestling to entertain people. If I have a match and I'm not necessarily all that happy with it, it's fine as long as people are. And if I wrestle and people don't get into it, I am not doing my job well. I don't want to go in the back and have a bunch of wrestlers go like, "Oh man, that was awesome." I don't want to come back out from the curtain after I'm done. People in the crowd who paid their hard-earned money tell me, "Oh, that was so much fun." I don't want them telling me that was such a great wrestling match. I want them telling me I had such a good time, because wrestling is such a small part of it. I'm here to entertain and put a show on. That's why I go full on with such a dramatic character. I invest a lot of money in the presentation.
Frankie, got big news. That's not your job. That's mine.
What's that? My job to do what?
Change your name to entertain the people.
That's it.
Show them what they want.
It's still my job too, buddy. I gotta I got to entertain you. I got to entertain every single person that comes to the shows. And I like myself, not everybody does that. I like to create a bond with the people. It's not just the show's over, they go home. I don't care. I care. I want them to go home happy. And if I'm not, I don't have the ego to tell you I'm somebody special. I'm not. I'm just another guy. But if somebody comes to a show with his kid or is whatever, and that person wants to think it would be cool to have a little moment to talk to me, that's super important for me. I want to be able to provide that little moment that makes them happy. If it's not in the ring, if it's after the show where they just want to, shake hands, take a picture. I'm not saying that pictures are worth more than anybody else's picture. But if I can give that person a little moment where we can just have a little bit of time, that's super important for me.
Besides me, who has been the scariest opponent you've faced?
If you go back a while, I was supposed to have a match with Psycho Sid. You know who that is? Sid Vicious?
Psycho Sid?
Yeah.
How long were you wrestling for?
I've been wrestling for 26 years, buddy.
Oh.
And Psycho Sid was, that's a little more over 12 years ago. It was in Montreal, and we were supposed to have a match against each other. And he was one of my wrestling idols. Him and Kevin Nash were the two guys that got me into wrestling because I wanted to be a superhero giant freak, and they were the two biggest. And having the chance
maybe you should make an appearance at Destiny Wrestling because they'll be having Kevin Nash right there.
I know. I think I'm gonna come to that show even if I don't wrestle on it because I want to see Nash again. I got a chance to tag with Nash some 10 or 11 years ago in Timmins, Ontario, and that was the coolest moment out of my career because back when I was Frankie the Mobster, I had like Kevin Nash pants. I had a Kevin Nash moveset. He was my inspiration. Like I told you, I wanted to be a mini Kevin Nash. And then there came that day where I got to tag with him, being next to him, doing the entire Kevin Nash entrance with cranking up the arm and everything. Right next to him in the ring, that was just pure. That inner child in me was freaking out. I was freaking out. I'm like, I made something out of this wrestling thing. I'm right next to my idol. That was just amazing. Amazing.
Recently, in one of your matches, you received an injury that could have been very bad for you and your career. What has been your scariest moment in wrestling?
You mean in the ring?
You can do both.
Funny thing, just 2 weeks ago, I had this I had a show in Montreal, and I tagged with a really good friend of mine who's just got started in the business, who's named Zach Patterson. Tremendous talent. One of the up and coming guys that you need to see. He's just fantastic. And we were wrestling TDT, which I'm quite sure you know of. And we did this thing where I run at Zach and he backdrops me out to the outside on TDT, which is a pretty high bump. But I totally missed him and I landed tailbone first, right on the floor.
And then you swore in French.
Oh, I swore in every possible language there is. I think I came up with new languages to swear. And it's okay. Well, we're gonna say it. Tabarnak. Say it.
Tabernacle.
That's it, my man. Okay, so that's one of the words that came out of my mouth, and I really thought because when I landed for a good couple seconds, I could not move at all because the pain was unbearable. I thought I was paralyzed. That really scared the hell out of me, to be honest with you. And since that day, I have been in close to unbearable pain. I went to see an osteopath. He helped me out. He fixed everything. But he fixed everything for a short period of time. The second I start training again or do any form of exercise, it just goes crooked again. I think I guess I'm going to put my body to the test this weekend because I have two shows against two tremendous opponents. So we'll see how it goes. And there was a bunch of times I remember having a guy over my head in the gorilla press, and my bicep tore. It just completely tore. And I almost dropped the guy on his head. That wasn't scary for me, but I was scared that the guy got really hurt. And mind you, I got really hurt because a torn bicep really goddamn hurts. The scariest things in wrestling would probably be the driving. When you do all that road, there was a bunch of times where I almost lost my life in my car due to various traffic situations or bad, close to like life-ending accidents. That would be. There's so many.
Like the Buffalo Brothers. Like the Buffalo Brothers, when they got in a car accident like 3 years ago.
Who got a car accident? Me?
The Buffalo Brothers.
Oh yeah. Well, see, they almost lost their lives. There is it was always close calls for me. Very close calls.
Close. Daniel Garcia was this close. He did. No, was it both or one? He broke his femur bone. I can't remember if it was both or it was just the one.
Who's that? Garcia?
Red Death. Yeah, Garcia.
Yeah. And he's such a great guy. I love him so much, and I'm so happy to see that he fought back and he busted his ass. And look at him now. He's one of the most sought after.
When I heard it was like a month from recovery and he was already training.
Oh no, he's a beast. He's a complete beast. He's so intense, so devoted, such a good guy too. I'm so happy that he's found the success that he has. I'm sorry, I'm gonna need coffee. What's your next question, buddy?
I know you're mostly a singles wrestler, but do you like doing tag team matches?
I love doing tag team matches. It's such a different input, different outtake on our work. Like I just said, back home in Quebec, I do a lot of tag team matches with my with my buddy Zach Patterson, and we have great chemistry because I've known this kid since the day he was born. I gave him his very first teddy bear. Where are you? Steven? Oh, here you are. I had
one of my shoulder attacks.
Oh, okay. I've known Zach since he was born. I gave him his very first teddy bear. And through his entire childhood, he kept telling me that he wanted to be Frankie Jr., that he wanted to be in a tag team with me. And I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was so cute. And lo and behold, we're actually teaming. So it's funny. And he's so talented, and he's jacked. He's an animal. He's just strong as an ox, extra super athletic, very, very talented. He has a background in freestyle Olympic wrestling. He can throw people around with the best of them. He's so tremendous.
Where did your names Frankie the Beast King and Frankie the Mobster come from?
Oh, Frankie the Mobster. When I started out, to be honest with you, in that little tiny thing that I spoke about earlier, I did that first show. A kid came over and asked for an autograph, and I had no idea what my name was because I never thought about it. So the guy that was working the shows there, back in the day, I had a long trench coat. I had a fedora because that's the first thing I came up with. He says, "You look like a mobster. You should be a mobster." I'm like, "Oh, good enough." So I came up with the mobster thing. Later on, I moved on to another promotion, and the promoter there, ironically enough, being Zach Patterson's father, Bertrand Hébert, said I needed a first name that was easy for people to remember and easy to chant. And he came up with Frankie. And Frankie's an easy name for people to remember. And I kept with the Frankie because everybody in wrestling just calls me Frankie. But when I did the dramatic change to being the Beast King, I wanted a completely different outlook on this character, completely different approach. And I came up with the new threads, wearing the leans and the big boots and the makeup and everything. And
And you recently, like almost just 2 years ago, you.
oh, that's more than 2 years ago. That's more than 2 years ago. I came up with that new character, give or take 4 years ago.
No, 2 years ago, you started wearing the helmet.
Yeah. I had another one made before that, but it broke because I'm not very
Careful.
exactly. So the Beast King, funny enough, if you want the God honest truth, I was with some friends in the car and I had a vape cigarette and choking on it. And there was something on it that said the Beast King. That was the name of my vape cigarette. And James Stone said that should be your new name. That you're right. So I'm named after an electronic cigarette. That's where the name came back.
What's your dream match and opponent if you could face anybody?
My dream match?
Yep.
Roddy Piper in his prime.
What kind of match?
Just a all-out brawl. A Roddy Piper and Beast King match. Going all over the place. No DQ.
Oh,
A
you
lot
said
of shit
regular match.
Say again?
Oh, you just said regular match. No,
Oh, yeah, but it was just, there'd be a lot of character work, a lot of shit talking, a lot of mouthing around. Piper is just such a genius. That or Ric Flair, maybe. Ric Flair would be great. Woo!
Woo!
I like old school. I like character-driven matches where it's not so much about the moves. What's that?
And then he flips the floor.
Woo! 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 Yeah, indeed. The Flair flip-flop bump. I like great characters that bring a wide array of emotions to the ring before they bring wrestling moves. I think emotions is basically what we should be selling first and foremost. And I think wrestling moves are just part of our pitch. We're salesmen. We are selling emotion for people to connect with us. And we're doing that through the wrestling moves and through our wrestling characters. I think the characters are what sell the most and not the wrestling per se.
Out of all the large promotions, if you were to sign with one right now, who would you want to sign with and why?
Well, honestly, it'd be the WWE because that's always been the goal. And if you're in this business and you say that you wouldn't want to be in WWE, I don't know why you're in this business. If you're in a sport, if you're playing hockey and you don't want to be in the NHL, I don't get it. No, I want to play hockey in Russia or Kazakhstan. No, you just want to make it to the absolute top, and that's WWE. Now, would I make it there? Probably not. But would I? If I was given a chance, I would go there. I'd love to be associated with Kevin in any way, shape, or form, or even with Edge as part of his new. Yeah. And
you were with Edge. Whoever came in Edge's way would get choke slammed out of the ring and then crushed with your own two hands.
Yeah. No, I would love anything. I'm gonna go close the window because I'm freezing.
How are you freezing? It's hot.
Oh, not where I'm at. Amongst you, I never wear a shirt. I hate clothes. So, hey, God damn it. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Okay. So, that thing's going to fall again. I'm talking to my phone now. So, yeah, WWE would be the place I'd want to be at. I'd love to be in AEW. There's so much great talent there. So many people that I've worked with in the past. But, you know, the ultimate dream in anybody's career should be to go to WrestleMania and have a match at WrestleMania. That'd be the dream. It's not going to happen, but that would be the dream. Yeah.
I probably this is just my opinion. I would probably want you to go to AEW. There's only one reason, though.
They what?
I want you to go to AEW because there's only one reason. One reason.
Well, what was the reason?
Because then if you go to WWE, they'll probably make you stop doing the whole spitting the...
No, I know. The character that I am right now would not be allowed in WWE. They would tone it down a lot. But even in AEW, they would tone it down because sometimes they get carried away. And I tend to say things that are not so PG or TV oriented. But I mean, I could control that. I like to go balls to the walls and say whatever comes out of my mind. But if I was in a workplace that would not allow me or let me do that, I would totally rescind myself from doing so.
What has been your most memorable moment as a wrestler besides being beat up by a kid? Or liking banana popsicles?
Oh my God, you are insane. Like I said earlier, teaming with Nash was the ultimate dream moment. Being
but lovable.
Oh, very lovable, very lovable. Teaming with Nash, I got to team with Sid. I didn't wrestle him, but I got to team with him too. So that was amazing. Every match or promo that I've got to work with Kevin. Go ahead. What?
The one thing I love to see in wrestling is when a wrestler like Kevin Owens at WrestleMania gets to wrestle one of their favorite wrestlers of all time. Like when he fought Stone Cold, even though he was mostly getting beat up.
Yeah.
He got to wrestle for his last match. Stone Cold, his hero.
Yeah. But that's what happened to me. I didn't get to wrestle him, but being in the ring with Nash was just out of this world for me because that's the only reason why he's the primary reason why I wanted to become a wrestler. I wanted to be Kevin Nash, and being right next to him, looking like a twig next to this giant man, it was amazing.
As a fan, what is your favorite type of match to watch?
The ones that end a very long storyline where all the emotion culminates to that one very last.
Like Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch.
Yeah, or old school like Randy Savage, Ric Flair stuff. Anything that Roddy Piper was part of that really brought the emotion to a fever pitch. Just anything that's out of where there's real legitimate emotion, whatever the type of match it is, when there's real legitimate emotion being projected and it's not only about wrestling, that's the kind of matches I like to watch. There has to be, like when Kevin and Jericho had the Festival of Friendship, that kind of thing is what strikes a chord with me.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. What advice do you have for young wrestlers that are starting out in the business?
Be genuine.
Be genuine, yeah.
Genuine, stay true to yourselves. Do not lose hope.
Do not give up.
Do not give up. Be willing to fail, to learn. Keep your ears open at all times.
If you fail once, that doesn't mean you'll fail again.
Absolutely not. You learn from your failures. Seek advice from anybody. not necessarily only the other guys. Listen to everybody around you. Everybody's input can help you. Whether it's a guy that's only had 2 matches, he could teach you something that you wouldn't have, that you wouldn't be taught by anybody else. Um, don't lie. Be honest. Don't bullshit people. Don't try to play politics. Do not let your ego get in the way as you gain experience. Do not ever think you're bigger than anybody in the business. Do not ever think you're bigger than the business. Don't ever think that you're bigger than the guy who started wrestling a couple of years ago and was just trying to make something out of his life. As good as you get, as great as you get, however far you may go, you're still that kid that wanted to live his dream. If you live it, stay humble, stay true to yourself, stay true to your origins. That's really important to me.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's all the time we have for today. If you want to see more videos like that of me chopping Frankie at GREEKTOWN Wrestling, make sure to check out my TikTok, Steven's Wrestling Journey. Oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to mention that. I wasn't supposed to advertise that, but seriously, go check it out. I want to say a huge thank you to Frankie or Mark for coming on my show today. It meant the world to me. And remember, Frankie, I will see you at ringside at the show, next GREEKTOWN Wrestling show. Wrestling, watching over my friends. Don't forget to put the snake on my mom's head. Or her neck.
I will.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. It was awesome to be invited to your show. Any what?
Do you have any final word to my fans, Mark?
To your fans? No. Thank you for having me on the show, buddy. Thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure talking with you and talking to you. You know that I always have a blast doing that. Everybody that's supporting Steven, keep doing that because you have a kid here that has a true legitimate passion. He has a heart of gold. He's a fighter. He's worth it. He's worth everybody's attention. He's worth everybody's love, and he's worth everybody's. I spoke since the beginning of this interview a bunch of times about emotions. He draws emotions from people. He's genuine. I spoke about being genuine. You are. So everybody that gets in contact with you, gets in touch with you, realizes that. So everybody that's following Steven, please just keep doing that because he's worth every second of your time and every bit of energy and love and emotion.
Thank you.
I love you, buddy, and we will talk soon, and I will smack your head around soon as well.
Until next time, guys, make sure to lay a frog. Make sure you lay a frog splash on that subscribe button and a Beast King slap on that like button. Make sure you never give up and always be yourself, guys. Be yourself, guys.
That's it.
Bye.
Bye, guy. Bye. This is Frankie the Beast King. Everyone watching this needs to go to Steven Wrestling's Journey. Subscribe. If you go there and don't, I will find you. Steven Wrestling Journey. Hit the subscribe button. Do something. worth it with your lives.